Before we get started with this Q&A from Saints fans, let YouTube know that you want more Saints videos by doing one simple thing. Liking this video. In case you didn't know, the YouTube algorithm will reward you with more of our content and more content around the New Orleans Saints from other content creators too if you just like this video. And on top of that, it helps me get my dog a new treat. Welcome to Saints Now by Chat Sports. My name is Trace Girouard. You're about to dive into our Saints Now mailbag where I'm answering questions and reacting to what Saints fans had to say in our weekly live show every single Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central Time. So let's start things off with the channel legend, Jerry G. Jerry G. All right, he says, Trace and Lopez, what are your thoughts on the trade rumors of Chris Olave being shut down by the Saints? Lopez, I'm going to give my take, and then I will gladly bring you on to give your thoughts on this. I think that it makes a lot of sense for Kellen Moore to shut it down. In case you guys didn't know, Kellen Moore specifically said that Chris Olave is going to be a big part of the offense, and he's going to be, or he has already had a big impact on the offense. So I really like that Kellen Moore is going to be highlighting Chris Olave in his offense this year, and I think that he's a player that, quite frankly, Saints can't really afford to get rid of. But Lopez, what do you think about this? I think you're muted. There you go. Yeah, that key is a little sticky. You're good.
Okay. But like you were saying, I really don't think the Saints can afford to trade a guy like Chris Olave. You're not going to find that in the open market very often. There's a reason why. Those guys are so good. And if you decide, let's trade him, we'll just draft another guy, that's defeating the purpose.
Yeah.
That's like one step forward, two steps back. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and the best thing you can do if you wanted to still add a wide receiver, which you should, is you add somebody who is a bigger-bodied guy,
and
taller, more muscular.
Olave.
Exactly. Make him a complement, not a replacement. I think that's the best way to go about it. All right, let's get to this next question. Thank you, Jerry G. I appreciate you for asking. Next one coming in from Kyron. Let's get it. Have heard some going on with the Saints players this offseason. Kyron, if you've heard something, let us know. Shoot me a DM, brother. Jayden, what is your top player to watch for the Saints in 2025? I'm going to give you a sneaky one because I'm going to pick kind of an off-the-wall one here. Isaiah Foskey, the edge rusher that the New Orleans Saints drafted in round 2 out of Notre Dame. I think that he actually could find himself carving out a role with this new scheme on the defense in a 3-4. And I also think that him working with Bo Davis is going to be really, really good for him. There's obviously Chris Olave is my big one to watch because I think that he's going to have an incredibly good season. I wanted to pick kind of an off-the-wall one. So I went with Isaiah Foskey. Keep an eye out on him. He might have the opportunity to do some really good things. We'll have to see, though. Not Derek Carr. The Saints should trade Spencer Rattler. For what? What are you going to get in return? A bag of peanuts? Like, Lopez, I mean, I don't feel like there's anything you could do to trade Spencer. Like, no. One, I don't want to give him up. I'd rather give up Jake Haener if one of the two. Second, I don't think he has any market. I genuinely don't think he has much of a market whatsoever.
I don't know if Joe Milton has a market and when.
I mean, true, but Joe Milton won 1 game and Spencer Rattler lost 6.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but
I see what you're saying too.
Like Spencer Rattler, I think has a possibility of being something for the Saints. I think they just need to explore it a little bit more. Don't give up on it just so quick. You have nothing else going for you.
Yeah.
What's a year of Spencer Rattler going to do?
I mean, at the worst, at worst, a year of Spencer Rattler gives you a top 5 pick.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really in the camp of trade away Spencer Rattler. I think the upside is too valuable, and I also think that on the low end, if all else fails, he's a perfect guy to get you the top 5 pick, so we'll have to see what happens. I want to ask you this question, though, Who Dat Nation. I gave my thoughts, so it's your turn to give yours. Is Spencer Rattler the quarterback of the future for the New Orleans Saints? Just give me a simple yes or a no down in the comment section and share your thoughts. If you know ball, I want to hear from you, Who Dat Nation. Is Spencer Rattler the quarterback of the future? Mikey Taylor, do you believe Tyler Warren could be our next Jimmy Graham if we draft him? Now, I think what you're asking is, can he be our next great tight end? Yes. But I don't think that they're the same skill sets. I think that's a little bit different. Tyler Warren, much more versatile as a pass catcher and as an overall offensive weapon, whereas Jimmy Graham is just an absolute behemoth, and he is impossible to beat in the red zone. He's impossible to stop in contested catches. So in that regard, Tyler Warren and Jimmy Graham are pretty similar, but realistically, I think that they're just different styles of players. But can Tyler Warren be a great tight end for the Saints? Absolutely. I think the Saints definitely should draft Tyler Warren in round 1. At least consider it, depending on how the board falls. And I don't care that the Saints paid Juwan Johnson 3-year, $30 million. It's actually only a $21 million guaranteed, so it's really not all that much money. And on top of that, that's actually pretty low in terms of what tight ends are making now. So, yeah, if you're going to sit here and say, well, you have Juwan Johnson a lot of money. No, you don't. Now, here's the thing. If you want to make a lot of money, we just talked about Juwan Johnson making a lot. If you want to make a lot of money, not 3 years, $30 million, but at least $50 when you play $5, Prize Picks has you covered. Prize Picks is the best way to play daily fantasy sports and get real money on sports action. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. And on Prize Picks, you can mix and match player projections from different sports. Combine your favorite baseball players with basketball players and hockey, esports, and so much more. When you sign up today, you will get $50 instantly when you play $5 after downloading the Prize Picks app and using code CLNS. You don't even need to win to receive the bonus. It's guaranteed. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play $5. If you need inspiration for a lineup, I went with some season-long professional football projections. I'm going with the less on Patrick Mahomes passing yards. I'm trying to speak some change into existence here. I also think Saquon Barkley is going to have a little bit of a down year. Last year was so good, but you lost a big part of the offense, and Kellen Moore. We'll have to see what happens. In DK Metcalf, more than 899 receiving yards. I'm telling you right now, if the Steelers can figure out a quarterback situation, that right there is going to be a steal, and that's going to be some free cash. So if you want to fade these picks, if you want to tail these picks, I don't really care what you do. Just make sure you do it on Prize Picks. So download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play $5. All that information is in the comments and description of this video. Shout out to Prize Picks. Run your game. Quinn Courtney! Everyone type your Quinn Courtney emojis. It's the crown emoji for those of you who don't know. Who will be a bigger bust? Jalen Milroe or Quinn Ewers? I think they're both not going to be good. Let me just put it this way. Which one is going to throw less ducks? Because neither of them have shown the ability to throw a lot of good passes this offseason. I'll say this for Jalen Milroe, Lopez. At least for him, he has a lot of other strengths in just being a phenomenal athlete. Whereas Quinn Ewers, it's like,
if you can't play quarterback, you're fine.
Yeah, you can't do anything. And I'm a fan of Quinn Ewers. I've got to watch him play as a high schooler here at South Lake Carroll in Dallas, Texas. He's always been able to spin the pill. He's always been able to toss the rock all over the yard. But can he stay healthy? Can he do it at a professional level? I don't know. I think the bigger bust will be Quinn Ewers, but I think Jalen Milroe will have a better career, but I think Quinn Ewers is taken like day 3, so you can't really have a bust in day 3, right?
No.
You can't have a bust on the 5th or 6th.
Yeah, I think bust cuts off
after day 2, maybe, or after round 2.
I'm about to say round 2 is the cutoff. Everything else is you know what, this is just a flyer.
Yeah, I could see Jalen Milroe sneaking his way into round 2 just purely based off of his athleticism and traits. No, maybe, but even then, it's I don't know. So I think if you had to answer this question, the bigger bust would be Quinn Ewers.
Another little question. Do you think you can transfer him to another position?
Ooh. Dude, if you made Jalen Milroe a Joker type role, try to have him be a little bit, I'm not saying Taysom Hill, but use him similar where he can run or throw. You don't know what you're going to do whenever he's lined up in the backfield. I think that Jalen Milroe has much more to work with.
Oh, I definitely think he brings more to the table.
Yeah, I don't know if you could truly move him to a wide receiver, to a tight end or something like that. Bad. I think it would be you're a Joker who's a quarterback that also runs the ball just as many times as he throws the ball. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. Who knows? Next question. Thank you, Quinn Courtney. Hurricane Enjoyer, I saw the Bills want to trade for Chris Olave. What do you think? First of all, shout out to Pat O's. Second of all, I think it's some nonsense. We saw Kellen Moore shut down the trade rumors. We saw him say straight up that Chris Olave will be, or he's had a big impact on the Saints offense, and he will have a big impact on the Saints offense and on the roster. I don't buy any of these trade rumors. I will tell you this. It's flattering. It's very flattering for a team like the Saints to have players that people want. So shout out to y'all for wanting Spencer or Chris Olave, but we're not trading him whatsoever, and definitely not to the Bills. If you love number 12, type his jersey number down in the comments. I like to think that a lot of the Saints players watch our show because I know for a fact they do watch the show. So I want you guys to show some love to Chris Olave. If he watches the show, if his brother watches the show, who does follow me on Twitter, by the way, we want to make sure that he knows that the Who Dat Nation absolutely is in his corner. What up, Isaiah? My man, my homie. He's always emailing me. He's always hopping in my Twitter spaces. This guy's a legend. If we don't get Tet McMillan in round 1, should we be trying to get Jayden Higgins or Savion Williams in round 2? Between those two guys, I like Jayden Higgins a little bit more. I do like Savion Williams. For what it's worth, I like him and Jack Best, just to throw another name out there. And also Trey Harris, just to throw another name. But if it's between these two, I'm going Jayden Higgins. Do you have a take on this, Lopez, or you kind of indifferent?
I think for this one, I would kind of go Jayden Higgins. I would want that big body wide receiver to pair up with Chris Olave.
Yeah.
I think that's mostly the reasoning to that one.
And also, Jayden Higgins just had better production than Savion Williams. Both nice-sized athletes, but one had the proven production, one didn't. Obviously, context matters there, but I think I'm going with Jayden Higgins on that one.
I definitely
And it's not to take anything away from Savion. I think either one of those would be a good pick, but I get to pick. I'm taking Jayden.
Yeah.
There you go. DJ Mutt King, my man. Shout out to you, brother. Thank you for always hitting me up on social media, by the way. If we wait till next year to get a quarterback, would you rather get Arch or Nico? Well, I'll tell you this right now. I don't think Arch is coming to the draft next year. I think he actually goes back in 2026, and he declares for the draft in 2027. He also has no rush to get to the NFL. He's going to be making a lot of money in college football, so kind of in the camp of I don't think Arch is going next year. Between these two, I'm taking Arch, but I don't think he's going to be going to the draft next year. I think, honestly, if we're talking about quarterbacks next year, the conversation is more close to Nico or Garrett Nussmeier.
That's what I came on to say.
I was going to say, Lopez,
I was like, there's a big name that you're forgetting there. I honestly think if you put all three of them in the draft right now, I could see Arch going number 1. I don't see Nico really competing with Nuss for number 2 right now.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. And Nico has been good. Like, he had some really, really good moments for the Volunteers last year, but in a lot of, key times, he just fell through.
Yeah.
He just came up short. I mean, the Arkansas game comes to mind as an Arkansas fan. I mean, that entire game, he was in a blender. Like, the Arkansas defense had him locked down, and the Razorbacks were not a special team by any means. They were just good enough to take down Tennessee. Shout out to Matthew Peterson and Joey Peterson. But, I think next year you're looking more Garrett Nussmeier or
Arch, if he does decide to come out. If not, I think Nuss would be the clear number 1. I don't even know who would be number 2 right after him.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know.
Is Carson Beck back in there? Remember when he was QB1 in this draft?
Oh, my God. Carson Beck, dude.
Feels like a long time ago, but it was a thing.
Yeah, it does feel like it was a long time ago. I mean, this feels like it's the same conversation with Stetson Bennett. Is he going to be – now all of a sudden he's not even going to get drafted? Yeah. It's going to be crazy. Who knows what will happen with him, man. Oh, my God. What up, Mickey? The Saints need a running back. Who should they draft? Well, Mickey Loomis, you should be answering that question yourself. You're the GM. Realistically, though, in terms of running backs, I would like to draft. There's a lot of great names. This is the deepest running back class in the last, dare I say, 10 years? I mean, shoot, man, you could literally get a good running back in any round. And I'll also add this. The running back position has definitely seen an uptick in importance, and it's gotten kind of a respark and showing why it's important to have that position be so solid and invest in that spot. So in terms of who should they draft, look, we can go through a handful of players. Do we have that graphic, Lopez? No worries. Lopez is working to see if we have a graphic because we've talked about this before. Oh, my goodness. This is my guy right here, Nick frickin' Lopez. So here's 4 guys. Here's 4 that I really like. Ashton Jeanty, Omarion Hampton out of UNC, Cam Scatterbo, Travion Henderson. But don't sleep on guys like Dylan Sampson out of Tennessee. Also, Raheem Sanders, Ollie Gordon. There's Damian Martinez out of Miami. There's a lot of good running backs that you can get. Jaquindon Jackson out of Arkansas, Woo Pig. I mean, look, I think that you have to leave the draft with at least one running back. These guys on the screen right now, including Dylan Sampson, are probably my top 5. But then after that, I mean, honestly, just you got to leave with one of them. The Saints, you didn't know, were really, really bad in the run. They've been really bad in the rushing attack for the last few years. And that is a position that, no question about it, needs to improve. I'm looking up to see if I can find this stat here. Yeah, listen to this. Fewest rushes of 20-plus yards from running backs in 2024. Broncos were first with 4. The Saints were tied with the Raiders at 3. And then it was the Chiefs and Rams at 2. So the New Orleans Saints definitely have a need a running back. I love Alvin Kamara. I know that the offensive line was bad. I know that context matters. But you need a running back. You cannot roll into this season with Kamara, Kendre Miller, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I mean, who else is on this? I'm missing somebody. Oh, Jordan Mims and Xavier Valade. You cannot walk into the season with that. You're going to have to add somebody. And I think that adding one of the guys that we listed is definitely a good idea. Now, Saints fans, thank y'all so much for tuning in to today's program. We have been having a great time answering questions, sharing hot takes, and just chopping it up, talking ball. Thank you guys for watching. Y'all stay golden. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, get down in the comment section. Do you agree with our takes? Do you disagree? Do you want more kind of this content? Let me know down below. And y'all stay golden. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.